All right, welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. Johnny North is with me tonight on the program. WWE Survivor Series preview. Roman Reigns versus the new WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. Asuka goes one-on-one with Sasha Banks. We have completed now Raw and Smackdown male and female teams. We'll also recap SmackDown, Raw, and AEW Dynamite. Wrestling Uncensored starts right now. Indeed. What's up, Johnny?
What is up? What a week it's been so far. Fantastic week in a sense. Also kind of crummy as well. But exciting. It's fun when the stuff happens. And boring time right now.
Well, I'm a little confused by all that. We're going to preview Survivor Series in a second, but why has this week been fantastic and boring and so many emotions coming right off the bat, Johnny? What's going on? You all right?
Well, I mean, we started the week off. We have a brand new WWE champion. Though, I mean, we kind of said it last week this was going to happen. It's still nice to see that. You start the week off like that. It's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, in my opinion, the match of the week actually came from Dynamite, which is, not too surprising, but I where it came from was surprising. That women's match, wow, was that amazing. I don't know what you thought about that, but fantastic match.
Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa, that's your match of the week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the WWE title match to me was epic, but I still like that women's title. There's a lot more drama to that match because I felt like we knew Drew was going to win, so it wasn't as dramatic, but I was kind of surprised by that. I didn't think Serena was going to win.
I don't know if that's my match of the week. I don't know if I have a match of the week. I don't think anything was really good in wrestling this week. I didn't really, maybe Daniel Bryan beating Jey Uso on SmackDown this week in the main event. That was pretty good. I like that. Daniel Bryan went through a table. Daniel Bryan got a victory. I like seeing Daniel Bryan. He's got a new haircut. Looking handsome. Wrestling. Terrific as well. I mean, always great. Did a couple promos. I'd say Daniel Bryan is my MVP this week. I think Bryan and Jey Uso had my match of the week because, I don't know, I wasn't blown away by that AEW thing.
Well, I can understand. It was a good match, Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso. It's just, I felt to do that match right before Survivor Series where you have Jey Uso on Team SmackDown, why is he eating another loss where Daniel Bryan's not even on the pay-per-view? Like, I get it. Give Daniel Bryan the win back.
Yeah.
Just the timing of that. They could have saved that for after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but after the pay-per-view, they want to get going with the Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan thing, so I think they're just jump-starting that. I didn't have a problem with Jey Uso losing, especially to Daniel Bryan. Bryan had to win. He had to get that win back. Give a shout-out to AJ on the chat. I'm seeing AJ DeLessio, my main man from Ringside Report. He's on the chat. Lauren Cronish is watching us live. Bob Burgers as well. Is that Bob Burgers or Bob Belcher? Franco316. Shout-out to everybody watching us right now live on the chat. I see you. Yeah, I wasn't really enthused with anything in professional wrestling, and Drew McIntyre becoming the two-time WWE champion now beats Randy Orton in the main event of Raw. I mean, whatever. We called it last week, right? We said, before Survivor Series, traditionally over the past 2-3 years, they've done quite a few title changes on TV, and just the way they had set it up, with Drew showing up on SmackDown last week, not as champion, but just as a guy who had a match for the title on Raw Monday. He shows up last Friday on SmackDown and gets in Roman Reigns' face. It seemed like they were setting something up. And then Drew beats Randy on Raw. It's like, yeah, well, there it is. And I tweeted it earlier this week. I think it's a sad state of affairs when the WWE title changes and there's absolutely no buzz, there's no hype, no one cares. New WWE champion. Womp womp. That was the reaction from the wrestling world. No one gave a damn. And this is a title where, we grew up if the WWE Championship changed hands, it was like a massive deal. It was huge. But now, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. WWE title change on Monday Night Raw, no one cares. I think that's partially no crowd, partially because of the predictable nature of it, because they've done so many pre-Survivor Series title changes going into this in the years past, and also because Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, no one really cares. They've wrestled each other a million times. It's never been particularly good or interesting. No one cares, and you just want to move on. Oh, Drew's champion again. Okay. Why? Who cares? Like, I don't want to watch Drew McIntyre wrestle at all. I don't want to watch him wrestle Randy Orton. I certainly don't want to watch him wrestle Roman Reigns on Sunday. It's not for me. None of this is for me. I'm not really enjoying any of this stuff. The Roman stuff, the Drew stuff. Roman's promo on Smackdown was good, but other than that, once the bell rings, it's hard to stay awake.
Well, I mean, this has been Roman Reigns' title reign so far, right? The promos have been the best part of it. The matches, nothing really to write home about so far. But I'm still more intrigued by this matchup, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, because, like, unlike Randy Orton, like, I had no doubt that Roman Reigns was going to win that match. This match, it's hard to believe that they're just going to give this to Roman. I still think they're going to give it to Roman, but it definitely won't be clean. I think there's going to be a bunch of interference. We could even see The Miz do a cash-in, because this is going to be the exact date 10 years ago when he cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Okay. I think Roman probably wins. Let's get right into it. Let's get to prediction time. Survivor Series 2020. I think Roman probably wins. Maybe he gets help from Jimmy Uso or something like that. But I would go with Roman winning. I don't know how he wins. Maybe he just wins clean. But I see Roman winning no matter what happens. Miz cashing in on Drew, I hadn't thought of. It's possible. I didn't watch Miz's match on Raw this week because there's only so much time in life, and I refuse to waste it watching Bray Wyatt and The Miz. Bray Wyatt wrestled The Miz for what felt like a really long time. I don't know. I skipped over it. Match looked awful. Bray beat Miz.
That must be weird, though, like, because you watched that with your son. Like, your son doesn't go, like, hey, what happened with that match? Like,
no, I didn't watch that with him.
Oh, yeah.
He's at preschool.
Oh, okay.
I watch Raw on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. He's at preschool. I'm watching Raw, and I'm skimming through everything. I'm not watching Bray and The Miz. Skip. Drew McIntyre and Randy, skip to the last 5 minutes. I'll watch that. And that's pretty much all I saw of that. I don't need to watch this stuff, man. I know it's not good. It's unnecessary. I'm tired of wasting my time with this WWE nonsense. There's only so much time left in this world, and to waste it watching some of these guys wrestle, it's got to a point where it's so bad I can't anymore. I've seen Miz wrestle Bray Wyatt before on pay-per-view. It was very bad. I can't imagine this was better. I'll watch it when it's worth watching. I'm not wasting my time with The Miz and Bray Wyatt. Like, it's ridiculous. Unless you're a fan of those guys, why would you watch it? How bad was it, John?
Well, it was pretty bad. Like,
right?
To me, it just,
I don't want to watch it. It'll just make me angry. I don't need to get mad. Unnecessary.
There's a spot that's definitely going to make botchamania in that match, because Miz went for a kick, and, like, Bray Wyatt was already ducked down, and, like, he went for a kick and completely missed and just waited for Bray Wyatt to try to roll him up, because, like, he pretty much gave him his back. But, like, you could tell that wasn't supposed to happen like that. And to me, like, that match just showed that Bray Wyatt, man, he's not that good of a wrestler. Like, I get the gimmick and all that. He's not. Yeah, but, like, I get the gimmick. He overdoes it too much, where it's like, wow, he doesn't wrestle at all, really. Like, the whole, like, him coming out, like, the Mr. Rogers getup, it just looks like he's out of place in that kind of setup. Like, when he wrestles at the Fiend, at least he has, like, an aura to him. But when he has that, it just doesn't look like he should be wrestling.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why it happens. I don't know why they have Bray Wyatt at all. I don't want to watch him ever. They had a Firefly Funhouse on Raw. That was terrible. Him and Alexa Bliss
Yep.
doing their thing. Ugh. It's so bad, man. It's cringe bad. I can't watch it anymore. It's really just, it's got to a point where, I watched the Firefly Funhouse. I watched it. I didn't like it. There's just so much bad TV in WWE. It's really, really hard to sit through. Raw was very bad this week. Very bad. I'm seeing Bob Cote on the chat said AEW wasn't much better. You're right. It wasn't that great this week either. AEW wasn't great either. I didn't think wrestling was very good this week. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, I feel with Raw, it just started off on the wrong track. Like, when you had that 6-woman tag match, that was a horrible way to start Raw. When you start off Raw with a really bad match, it hurts the show, because, like, that's the start of a 3-hour show. And it built up towards that whole, like, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton match.
Well, hold on.
If you're not invested into that,
you can't blame the 6-woman tag here, John, because what really started the show was Drew McIntyre in the ring with a microphone. And when you start a 3-hour wrestling show with that guy going on and on about how thankful he is for being here, I'm so thankful for the fans, shut the... Like, get out of here with that. I don't want to see this guy talk. And then Randy shows up, and Randy's promo is actually funny because he's like, I've been fined and suspended more than anybody else in the locker room, and I'm still here because I'm the greatest wrestler ever, which, I mean, laughable in so many ways. I mean, greatest wrestler ever, ridiculous. He's not even top 10. He has been fined and suspended more than anybody else. Not that he's that great. It's that, certain people think he's really great. Certain water-spitting people, certain kings of kings, really like Randy and protected him for most of his career, even when he was suspended 3 times for wellness policy violations and should have been fired. Well, he was fired, but then they just rehired him immediately, which is ridiculous. And Randy bragged about it in his promo on Raw. At least that was, like, funny. And then Drew said some more shit, and then Miz and Morrison showed up, and they started talking. This goddamn segment took 15 minutes, John, so I refuse for you to besmirch the good name of Dana Brooke by blaming her for the terrible start to Raw when it was clearly the fault of thankful Drew McIntyre, ridiculous Randy, and Miz and Morrison. I feel bad for John Morrison. He's like Miz's sidekick now, where Morrison could actually wrestle circles around everybody else in the segment. He's got to sit there as the best wrestler among Randy, Drew, Miz, and he's just like the jabroni of the segment. It's ridiculous. That's one of the main problems with WWE. Look at who's on top and look at who's a nobody. It's like your talent is the nobody and your nobodies are the talent. It's ridiculous. That Drew promo was terrible, John. I never want to see Drew McIntyre speak or wrestle ever again. Ever. I'm done with that guy. He's so boring, man. Kills me.
Well, I'm not going to defend Drew McIntyre in his promos, but I definitely agree with you about Randy Orton. I thought that was a great promo. I really enjoyed that. And John Morrison, like, you have to realize, like, it's been like almost a year now he's been there?
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of like reintroducing him in a sense. Like, the fact that he's already somewhat in the main event scene already, like, it's only the start for him. Like, he's there now, but I could see them easily switch this around. Like, The Miz has the push right now, but I could see them give it to Morrison as well. I think they're just grooming him for eventually getting that spot. Well, let's talk about your buddy Dana Brooke, though, because, like, what a week she had. Let's talk about your buddy Dana Brooke.
Let's not attack Dana Brooke here. Let's not say any bad things about Dana Brooke.
Come on.
Why?
She deserves to be attacked this week. Did you not see what she did this?
So Asuka, Dana, and Mandy get the win over Nia, Shayna, and Lana. Asuka put Lana in the Asuka lock for the win. Shayna had Asuka locked in her finish when Lana tagged herself in, which was the wrong move, and then Lana lost. Mandy went to the back with an apparent arm injury. Dana seemed like she was hurt too. And then Nia, of course, put Lana through the announce table after the match. Dana and Mandy have both been removed from the Survivor Series team. Are you blaming Dana for this? What happened?
Well, one of two things here. The Mandy thing, like you knew Mandy was hurt going into that match, and she did like one spot, which is her injury angle. She already before that match, it was because of what happened last week, right, with Nia, where she got thrown out
Yeah.
of the ring and she landed awkwardly. Like you
And
could
people
tell that was
blame
all set
Nia
up.
for some reason, even though it's clearly Mandy's fault. She got thrown out of the ring and couldn't do it properly. Like, come on. How dare... I mean, you could blame Nia for a lot of stuff. The Becky punch, other things that she's done, very sloppy, but that was Mandy's fault. And it was an accident. I mean, it's not Mandy's fault. I'm just saying, like, don't blame Nia.
Right.
Mandy could have
No,
protected herself.
I don't, but everyone will always blame her because everyone
Yeah.
likes to blame her, so that seems to be what they do. But with Dana,
Don't
like, I don't know if
blame
you saw
my
the video-
cousin, you piece of monkey trash. You know? Sorry.
The Rock is great, no
Yeah.
question about it.
Go
But
ahead.
with Dana, I don't know if you saw the video that came out where she was at like an event watching her boyfriend. Like I think he had a fight or something.
A bare knuckle boxing
And
match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you saw the video then of her
No.
walking around like her mask was down. She was hugging people. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh.
I think that got her. I think that got her heat, and that's why she got pulled from the match.
Because she was at a bare knuckle boxing event watching her boyfriend fight, and she was walking around with her mask off, hugging people, and possibly contaminating herself, risking a match at Survivor Series. So that's why they pulled her from Raw? From the Raw. I mean, that doesn't even make sense, though, because if they're worried about her being contaminated, why put her in the match on Raw?
Well, I don't think it's so much that they had to test her, right? I imagine she got tested, but I think this was more like punishment. Like you went ahead and did that, so now we're punishing you for that. Like don't do that because now we're going to pull you from the pay-per-view.
Okay. Well, Dana and Mandy. So Mandy's hurt, but Dana just got pulled because of other reasons. And now we have...
maybe
Well, yeah, go ahead.
you could also say it's because like they're a tag team, right? And they switched them with another tag team. But really, you didn't have to do that. Like you could have easily kept Dana on the team. But
Yeah.
I really believe it's because of that. Like that video went out there, people were upset, and this was WWE responding to that.
Are Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce have replaced Mandy and Dana on Team Raw. It's now Nia, Shayna, Lana, Lacey, and Peyton against Team SmackDown, which is Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Natalya, and the team captain Bayley. Lacey and Peyton, like, they're still a tag team. I thought Lacey or Peyton wrote on Twitter that she'd never team with Lacey again. They're still a tag team. They were touching each other again on Raw, which I appreciated, but what's going on?
I have no idea because I've heard that too. People were like, "Oh yeah, they're not a tag team." That's nice that you're having chocolate.
Smarties.
Fantastic.
Delicious.
You're not an M&M's guy. I'm surprised.
I am, but I had Smarties and I didn't have M&M's, so.
Okay. Well, you'll survive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they have nothing else, right? So they just threw them together pretty much. I don't think they had any other options. I have no problem with this. I don't know about you, but I think adding them to the team, it's better. Like I find they're more interesting to watch than Dana and Mandy, in my opinion.
They're better wrestlers.
Well, better wrestlers, better everything, really.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. So we both have Roman winning that match there, the Roman Drew thing. Do you think Miz is going to cash in? I don't. I don't think he cashes in here.
I could see an attempt at least. Because
Yeah,
what else is he
tease
doing
it.
on the pay-per-view?
He'll tease it and then he'll get kicked. I don't think it'll happen.
Sure.
And if it does happen, he won't win the title. I don't think they take the title off Drew and give it to Miz. Like, ugh. If they give the title to Miz, I'm not even going to watch Raw anymore. Like, what's the point?
But I could see the attempted cash-in costing Drew the match, though. And they can play that going forward on Raw.
Yeah. It could be like that's what cost Drew the match, Miz, for some reason. Maybe. Miz is there. Drew turns around, gets hit with a spear. That type of deal. How about the women's match? 5-on-5, Survivor Series elimination. Nia, Shayna, Lana, Lacey, Peyton. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Bianca, Ruby, Liv, Bayley, and Natty. Bayley announced on SmackDown tonight as just being on the team. Natty was mad about it. And Adam Pearce is like, well, she has a, longest reigning champion and all that. She's Bayley. She gets to just go on the team. Natty, you have to wrestle another qualifying match. I think it's Natty's third qualifying match that she's wrestled. Maybe fourth?
At least.
Third? Yeah.
Yeah.
Third
or fourth.
Yeah. And she finally won, beating Tamina one-on-one. When I saw her in there with Tamina, I was like, wow, Natty's got to win this one, right? Like, please. And she did.
I hope so. I wasn't sure, though.
Yeah, you weren't sure. You weren't sure. The way they were building Natty there, you're like, oh, they're kind of building her as a loser. She's probably going to lose to Tamina here, but she didn't, which was good. I'm glad for Natty that she gets to be on the team. She seemed quite happy afterwards. Bayley getting the whole team to kind of get together and put their differences aside there and pose in the ring afterwards. Basically stealing AJ Styles' gimmick from Raw, right? Like, Bayley just became AJ Styles for one segment tonight. No?
I was kind of disappointed with Bianca. Like, I don't know if you heard her on commentary, but she kind of seemed very out of character, like trying to be
mean.
too much of a face.
Yeah, I thought she was like
what?
I thought she was more heelish. She seemed mean.
Yeah. Like, it didn't seem like the way you thought she acted like, but for whatever reason, that I don't think she's like experienced enough to do commentary, so I don't know if she's able to put her character out there as well, possibly. Like, unless it's a planned promo, I don't think she has the experience to pull it off.
I feel like Bayley really threw her.
Away.
Yeah, she totally blew her away, and she threw her off her game. Like, Bianca couldn't get a word in. She didn't really know where she fit in. It seemed quite awkward, Bianca. She looked, though, in that, like, sparkly suit with the sparkly sunglasses, she looked like $1 million. Like, my God, she looked great. She looked very cool.
Yeah, she looks great, but you can tell she's a rookie, though. And although
Bayley's not.
They just put... Yeah, Bayley is not. She's definitely... She should be the captain. Regardless if it's official or not, she should be the captain. And even though they just put, like, Team SmackDown together for the women, I'm thinking they're going to win, actually, for this match. Because I feel like Team Raw, at least for the women's side, like, there's too many problems with them, and it's not going to work out. If anything, too, like, Lana might cost Team Raw the match.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Bianca hasn't really been beat on the main roster. I don't see how you beat her out of this match. And that's one of the main reasons why I think Team SmackDown is going to win, because who's going to go over Bianca? Are they really going to put Shayna or Nia over clean over Bianca? I don't think so. I think Nia and Shayna, they're teaming together. They've been getting along. That's going to end at Survivor Series. Nia and Shayna will be eliminated because of each other type of thing, right? So that gets rid of them.
And Lana.
Lana can get eliminated easily by anything. Lacey and Peyton, same deal. But Bayley, you really got to beat Bayley to beat her. And Bianca as well has been booked really strong. Liv, Ruby, Natty, they're all expendable, but Bayley and Bianca are booked pretty strong, and I feel like they're going to be remaining on the team. They won't get eliminated, put it that way. I don't think Bianca or Bayley get eliminated. Maybe Bayley, but Bianca won't be eliminated, and I agree with you. I think Team SmackDown's going to win.
Well, I could see it where there's an argument maybe that's how Bayley gets eliminated, or it is them, and then they're like, oh, I won it for Team SmackDown, and then that's how you start a feud right there. So I see something like that going down. But yeah, Team SmackDown for this one. Again, wow, SmackDown's going to win a lot, it seems.
My man Derek John thinks Lana's going to win it for Raw. That'd be funny.
I could see that too, but the thing is, like, Lana, like, she needs to be a better wrestler to pull that off. And she isn't. Like, I could see her costing Team Raw, but that's about it.
Derek thinks Bayley's going to turn on Bianca and start a feud with her. Could happen. Derek might be right. Derek's good, man. He's always got theories. I like Derek. He always throws theories out there. He's not always right, but he's always got a theory. He's always got an angle. I like that.
It makes sense, a lot of what he says. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And a lot of people are agreeing with him, not agreeing with us. Derek John Uncensored. It's become Derek John Uncensored. He's taking over the show. Good man. We've met Derek a few times. Good guy. I watched Derek wrestle. I watched you wrestle with Derek. Your was it the strap match with Drew Onyx?
A year ago now.
Yeah, with AJ and Derek. We all watched that match together. That was a good time.
I think it was in Anjou, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
That was a fun match. My last big singles match I've had since
Yeah.
Man, it feels like forever ago.
And then me and Derek smoked weed in the parking lot waiting for you to come out after the show.
Well, I appreciate you guys waited for me. I was kind of beat up a bit, so
we had a good time.
It could take a while.
It was a good time, man. We had fun. Derek's a good guy. What the hell were we talking about? Survivor Series?
Survivor Series. SmackDown's up 2-0 right now.
Oh, my God.
Both our picks, I think.
Yeah, we both have SmackDown winning. Roman and the women's team. How about the men's team match? AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. Keith Lee. Sheamus. Braun Strowman. And the man formerly known as Matt Riddle. Now just Riddle.
I think it's
Riddle
M
me
Riddle.
this.
It says on his
Riddle?
jacket, it says M Riddle, yeah.
Did you hear why they changed his name?
Oh, yeah, it's because so kids can't find him on Google as easy, that he's in a lawsuit battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a woman who says that he was sexually assaulting her, and there's some sort of ongoing lawsuit with that woman. And if you Google Matt Riddle, you'll probably find information about that. So WWE, to avoid that, they're like, let's just change his name to Riddle, pal. That way when people Google Riddle, just get riddles or something. Unbelievable. Right. I can't believe that that's really what they did, but I do believe that that is really what they did. It's it's so crazy, but it's so WWE at the same time. If it were any other company, I'd be like, yeah, right, bullshit, that's made up. But WWE, I'm like, yeah, I buy that. Sounds like Vince. They're crazy.
It's the same company that got rid of referee names because Vince didn't like hearing referee names anymore. So I definitely believe it. Yeah.
Vince is he's quite a character. Quite a character. There are a million Vince McMahon stories out there. I just heard one on Jericho's podcast where when Mickey Rourke was there, Rourke had a few of his guys to back him up just in case anything went wrong because he thought he was going to get double crossed by Jericho in a real way. So Mickey Rourke had Frank Shamrock there with him, okay? And
I vaguely remember this.
Yes. Now, and Jericho was in the ring with Vince after rehearsals, and Mickey Rourke and his team are walking away, and Jericho goes to Vince, hey, Vince, those guys are here to back up Mickey Rourke just in case things got out of hand. They were going to fight us for real. And Vince goes, oh, I would have kicked those guys' asses, pal. You, me, Finlay, and Malenko would kick those guys' asses. And Vince not realizing, and he's like, who's that little guy? He actually didn't say little guy. He used an M. He used an M word that I'm not going to use, for a little person. Hornswoggle could use it, but I'm not going to use it here on the show. It's a classy show. But he used the M word. He's like, who's that M word? Who's that guy? Who's that little guy? And Jericho's like, oh, that's Frank Shamrock, And Jericho goes to Vince, I'll tell you what, if they do try to fight us, I'll take Mickey Rourke and you could take the little guy. And Vince is like, yeah, you're damn right I will. And it's like, okay, Vince, you're talking about Frank Shamrock. He would beat the shit out of you. But hey, that's Vince, man. He's crazy. I just thought that was a great, great story that you can hear on Chris Jericho's latest Talk is Jericho, among other good stories. It's a good podcast. If you're going to listen to a wrestling podcast other than ours, I suggest Jericho's, Le Champions. He's cool, right? We like him.
To be fair to Vince, though, I mean, he did take on Kurt Angle on a plane, so, he may not have,
had The Undertaker not attacked Kurt Angle from behind, Vince would have been in big trouble. Vince was losing. He took on Kurt Angle and lost.
Well, I was just going to say, he doesn't have the pedigree of these guys, but he does, he'll still take them on anyways.
He's got the grapefruits. Grapefruits. Did we both say grapefruits?
We did at the same time, pretty much, yeah. Because we know it. We're well mastered in Vince.
Oh,
Much.
you're damn right. The genetic jackhammer. I can't believe he used to go on TV and say, the product of my semen, my son Shane. With Shane right there next to him. The product of my semen. What a guy. Gotta love Vinnie Mac. Shane's not on TV anymore, eh? That Raw Underground thing, they were just like, no more Shane. Yeah, well.
That's too bad. I like Shane.
I guess. I don't miss him. So Team Raw, men's team. It's AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle versus Team SmackDown, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and just named to the team, not Big E, but Otis. Oh, yeah.
A little late on that Otis.
A little weird. A little weird to throw Otis in there. Chad Gable, for some reason, is Otis's coach of some sort. Very excited that Otis was named to the team. Not having to qualify, just named to the team for some reason. Even though he lost a qualifying match to Seth Rollins, I think, last week. He just gets to be on the team. So there's Otis on the team. Kind of weird. Thought Big E was going to be on the team. What happened to the mega push for Big E? All we see of Big E on SmackDown is him just trash-talking the Street Profits, telling them that Kofi and Woods are going to beat them at Survivor Series. That's all Big E's done for like the past 3 weeks on SmackDown. Hasn't wrestled, hasn't done anything, but kind of joke around and taunt the Street Profits. He's been entertaining, but I thought it was all kind of leading to a spot at Survivor Series. Huh?
Well, he still could have a spot in Survivor Series because apparently they've announced like there's going to be a dual brand like battle royal. So I think Big E, in my opinion, he's a top contender to win that match for SmackDown. Though I don't think they've announced who exactly is in this match, so possibly he's not even in the match, but I can't see him not being used.
What's the point of this battle royal? Why are they doing a dual brand battle royal?
It's actually very important, actually, because there's 6 matches, right? So to break the tie, which could possibly happen, they need that extra match.
Yeah, except it's not important because NXT won all the matches last year, and they're not even on the pay-per-view this year. So how important is it, really, to win brand supremacy at Survivor Series best of the best? Ridiculous. It doesn't matter, John. It doesn't matter.
Well, apparently you can do invasions now on shows. Remember how it used to be cool when guys would come on Raw or SmackDown and do invasions? Now they just come on. It's like, yeah, we're here. That's it. We'll just do a promo. No one gets upset or anything about it.
You talking about New Day?
Well, New Day, Drew McIntyre, Asuka was there. Like, no invasion. No, locker room, beat everyone up thing.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, a lot of people from Raw were on SmackDown this week, now that you mention it. Yeah, Asuka, Drew, Kofi, Woods. But they all have, inter-brand matches that they were trying to promote, right? Asuka's promoting her match with Sasha. Drew's got that match with Roman. And Kofi and Woods are taking on the Street Profits. Team Raw men versus Team SmackDown men. Who do you got? Got to go with Team Raw.
I think definitely. I mean, one, we haven't really seen Team SmackDown all together ever.
Yeah.
And to me, on paper, Team SmackDown seems more dysfunctional than Team Raw because at least Team Raw, they're trying to get together. They seem to have a storyline of them trying to work together. So I think that's going to work out. Plus, they lost on Raw this week. So I think them winning at Survivor Series is going to happen.
Well, they lost without their captain on Raw this week. Let's be clear. AJ Styles didn't lose shit on Raw, okay? AJ Styles was on commentary, goddammit. And AJ Styles was pissed off after they lost, goddammit. Retribution beat Riddle, Strowman, Sheamus, and Keith Lee in a 4-on-4 match. Riddle got rolled up by Mustafa Ali as the team argued. AJ Styles on commentary, quite mad after the match, took his shirt off. God damn it, get along. Taking his shirt off, getting all mad. I loved it. I love angry AJ. And then he discovered that his associate speaks English, and he had no idea. And now he has so many questions. That was a weird moment. AJ doesn't talk to this guy?
Too goofy.
It was way too goofy. It's like, what? What do you mean?
yeah, like it's okay, like you don't understand he speaks English, but then to go on like, oh, I have so many questions like that. You want to talk about cringe? That's when it felt like it got a little too cringy.
It was bad. Anytime in a movie, it's like, you see this guy and he's quiet the whole time, and then all of a sudden you're like, you speak English? He's like, of course I speak English. No one ever asked. It's like, ugh. How many times have you seen that gag on TV and movies? And, it's just like, it's old, it's kind of cliche, and it's like, the way it was presented on Raw was really just not fresh, not original, not entertaining, not funny, not good in any kind of way. WWE style. So, who's winning? Team Raw. They got to win. Team SmackDown is barely a team. Team Raw, like we talked about last week, one of the greatest Survivor Series teams ever compiled. AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle. Like, by God, that's a strong team. I think they win. Who survives from Team Raw? Everybody? AJ?
I think AJ for sure. Like
Just
that was
AJ.
a big difference, right? I could see Strowman too, though. Strowman,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I think last year like pretty much eliminated everybody almost. Or was it the year prior? He did one thing one time where like he pretty much just dominated SmackDown. I feel like it was probably last year.
You might be right. I don't really remember what Braun Strowman did last year. Here, I could pull it up for you. Braun Strowman was...
But also Keith Lee. It's going to be hard. There's a lot of guys that's hard to eliminate on Raw, where SmackDown, I could see them just falling apart because Kevin doesn't like Seth Rollins. Nobody likes King Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Jey Uso's a jerk now. And Otis, like, let's face it, Otis is definitely like the weak guy in the whole group.
So, yeah, he just lost to The Miz.
Actually.
Yeah. Team SmackDown last year, Braun Strowman was on it, and they won. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns leading that charge with King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G on the rest of the team. They got the win over Team Raw, which was Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet. Pretty strong team there. And Team NXT, which was Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Walter. So Riddle and Lee on Team NXT last year. Now they're on Team Raw. And I think they'll win. I believe Team Raw wins this year. How about Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn? I liked Sami this week doing his little promo with the New Day. And then he had a match. It was New Day and Street Profits versus Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and King Corbin. Sami took the fall from Montez. A little bit of miscommunication there, a little beefing between the Profits and the New Day in this match. Sami didn't want to tag in at all. He had some problems with Dolph Ziggler for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Sami took the fall. Leads me to believe that he will win against Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series. I'm going with Sami. I know a lot of people think, well, Lashley's just going to squash him, just going to beat the hell out of him. I think he might, but Sami will find a way, cheat to win somehow. Maybe it'll be a count out, maybe it'll be something sneaky, but I think no matter what, Sami Zayn's going to come out on top. He's been pushing this match way more than Bobby Lashley has. All the promotion for this match, all the talk for this match has been about Sami Zayn and how the Intercontinental Championship represents all countries and Bobby just represents the U.S. as U.S. champion. Sami's been great in the lead up to this. And he had a little interaction with Daniel Bryan backstage as well. Don't be surprised if they wrestle again in the future for the IC title. But I can't say this is one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most, but I do like Sami Zayn quite a bit, so I like watching him no matter what he does. I got Sami over Bobby. What do you think, Johnny?
This is one of those tough matches to call because, like you say, it could go like Sami, you think could get a quick upset kind of win, or Bobby's just going to dominate. It could go either way. To me, that Daniel Bryan promo made it seem like that might be a problem for Sami. Because it seems like in matches where Sami doesn't have to win, he loses, as we saw this past week on SmackDown. So I feel like he's probably going to lose, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know you're probably mad about that. I
don't like it.
He's still the champ.
You think Daniel Bryan's going to cost him the match? How does Daniel Bryan get involved? Bryan not booked for Survivor Series, which is disappointing.
Yeah, exactly.
How come he's not on Team SmackDown?
Well, he just came back, right?
Why would you take Otis over Daniel Bryan if you're Adam Pearce? Like in a shoot way, why would you ever?
Well, Adam Pearce and his like choosing, like I have no idea how you understand that because he picked people that were already eliminated pretty much, and then he just randomly says, "Oh well, this person," like there's no merit whatsoever. He just randomly does things because like there's a hole in the story. So Adam Pearce
Yeah.
just decides he's going to do something. So
Yeah.
there's no rhyme or reason to anything Adam Pearce does. So don't try to make sense of it.
Okay. I won't. Okay. Asuka versus Sasha. Sasha's the SmackDown champion. Asuka's the Raw champion. They did talk about how Asuka beat Sasha for the Raw title at SummerSlam and hasn't lost that title since. So there's a history there. Does Sasha get the win back from SummerSlam? I feel like she will.
Well, I felt again the promo was very telling that we saw on SmackDown, where Carmella interfered and Asuka didn't really care, and I feel like that's what's going to happen this Sunday, where there could be a little interference thing, and she's just going to take advantage of that, and that's going to be a difference. I think Asuka's going to win.
Huh. So you think Carmella cost the match for her? I think Sasha wins and then Carmella attacks. I think Sasha is going to win. All right. How about that? We're differing on a few of these picks.
Yeah, a few. Well, I guess two of them now, but
yeah,
maybe even three. We'll see because I mean we have to see what the score comes up to, right? Because I'm guessing you and me both believe it's going to be 3-3 going into the last match, right?
Whatever that last match is, I'm guessing it'll be Drew and Roman.
Correct.
Ugh. Can it be Asuka Sasha? Like, I feel like that's the better match. It's the better match.
Right.
Better wrestlers. It has been, but like Drew and Roman has been done quite a bit as well. They had a very long feud going into a Mania match. They've done it to death. And it's not going to be good. You know, Asuka and Sasha is going to be a much better match, and I feel like Roman winning is a foregone conclusion. When the Asuka-Sasha match, I'm not really sure. We're both picking Roman to win. You're going with Asuka. I'm going with Sasha. We're not really sure. It could go either way. So why not have the match that could go either way? The match with the intrigue, the match with the actual talent. Whatever happened to putting on the women's match last? Just because Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch aren't around anymore, you don't do that anymore, WWE? To me, this is the real main event. It's the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, held it since SummerSlam, versus Sasha Banks, the woman that she took the title from, who's now the SmackDown Women's Champion. Like, it's a good story. It's a high-quality match. You can't predict it. That's the main event. That's the closer. Because if you close with Drew and Roman again, you're going to close with another stinker. And that's how these pay-per-views have been ending quite a bit lately, these WWE shows. Ending with the worst shit on the card. End with a bang.
Well, you're thinking what's the best match, but I mean, in terms for them, they're thinking what's the most entertaining fight, and that's the WWE Champion versus the Universal Champion. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Okay, whatever. It's stupid, but that's fine. So you've got Asuka, I've got Sasha. We've both got Roman. You've got Bobby, I've got Sami. We've both got the SmackDown women's team. We've both got the men's Raw team. What's the tiebreaker here? Oh, New Day, Raw Tag Team Champions versus Street Profits, SmackDown Tag Team Champions. New Day's got to win here. They're the real deal. Street Profits showed them up a little bit on SmackDown this week. Street Profits got the pinfall victory for the team. New Day they're the legit team. They can't be beat clean here by the Street Profits. I think New Day is cementing themselves even further as one of the greatest, if not the greatest tag team in WWE history right now. They can't lose to a team like the Street Profits at this point in their careers. This is Kofi and Woods on top, running roughshod over Raw. They've got to beat the Street Profits here at Survivor Series. If they don't, I'll be sorely disappointed in the WWE's booking because they should be pushing the New Day like they're the Legion of Doom. unbeatable, just smashing through everybody. No one should beat them for a very long time. A very long time. If you're trying to, refresh them, you put them on Raw, you separate them from Big E, have them be the dominant tag team that they are. Let them be who they are. The greatest tag team in the WWE. Maybe the greatest tag team of all time. And in my opinion, the greatest tag team in the world today. Kofi and Woods. They beat the Profits. They have to. I think the match will be good. It could be a sleeper for match of the night. Don't be surprised if this one kicks major ass.
It's tough to say, really. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but to say like it's going to be the best match, it's tough because like Street Profits, I don't know about you, like sometimes they can have good matches and sometimes they don't have good matches. Like sometimes they have an off night and it kind of shows. So it's tough to say. But before I get into who I think is going to win, did you notice on Raw they said that New Day were 9-time tag team champions, and then on SmackDown they said they were 10-time tag team champions. So
yeah.
It doesn't say WWE knows like what their title reign is exactly. Like, are they counting that whole like switch? Are they not counting it? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Apparently, like they're inconsistent on their own shows. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm not surprised. They're 13-time champions. Okay. I mean, Kofi Kingston is like a 17-time tag team champion. So who cares?
Well, Kofi's made mention that he's won more titles than a lot of wrestlers, so yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But to me, it seems like for Street Profits to lose, like they push them like crazy. I'd be surprised for them to lose, and they kind of have to win Street Profits because I think SmackDown is going to win 4-3, right? And I feel like I think have the same thing, but you have a different route how it's going to go. But yeah, I have Street Profits winning because SmackDown's going to win. That's the way I look at it. This one's tough though too. I mean, it could go the different way too. New Day could definitely win. It's tough.
I have not done the math on how I think it's going to go or which brand is going to win. I guess we could do that math now that we've picked all the winners for the 6 matches on the card that are announced. We both got
3 right now.
I've got Team Raw men. I've got Team SmackDown. Oh, wait, what else do I have Raw? I've got Team Raw. I've got New Day, and I've got. That's it. I give everything else to SmackDown, which doesn't really make sense, but that's how I'm going. Because I got the women's team for SmackDown, I got Sami winning, I got Sasha Banks winning, and I've got Roman Reigns winning. I have it 4-2. So I guess, but it will be 3-3 going into the main event, right? No. Yeah, because somebody from Raw will win the Battle Royal. That's how I'll see it, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the Battle Royal is the pre-show, right? So if somebody from Raw wins that, it'll be 3-3 going into the main event. And then when Roman wins, it'll be 4-3 for SmackDown. SmackDown wins the whole night. So, yeah, I'll say that the dual brand Battle Royal will be a Raw winner because based on the way that I'm booking things with 6 matches announced, I have 4 SmackDowns and 2 for Raw. So kind of even it up going into the final match on the pre-show. A Raw person will win the dual-branded Battle Royal, which I assume will have Jeff Hardy and Elias, maybe Big E, and some others. Who else is going to be in this thing? Orange Cassidy, Kip Sabian. No, wait, that's the other show. Sorry.
If the Fiend's in it, the Fiend's probably going to win, right?
There you go. Yowie Wowie. Fiend shows up, he wins. Yowie Wowie.
So I think.
But will the Fiend be on a pre-show? Fiend in a pre-show match? Like, I don't know. I'd say Jeff Hardy wins. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy to win the Battle Royal because he's on Raw and he's one of the top stars on the show that's not currently booked.
It's a very good point.
Or Elias. Or Elias costs Jeff Hardy the match and Elias wins. Either Elias or Jeff Hardy wins the Battle Royal. Okay?
It could very well go down the way you're saying it, too. Like, I think 4-3 like you, but the way you have it, it makes a lot of sense.
Boom. There you go. WWE Survivor Series going down on Sunday, and we will be live here on Sunday night after Survivor Series for a recap show. Actually, we'll be on a little bit during Survivor Series, like towards the main event, around 10:15, 10:30. We'll be coming on here jumping on live, talking about Survivor Series, recapping the whole thing. You can join us. We'll have a big party. It'll be fun. Right?
But here's the big question, though. Is this going to be a good pay-per-view? Because
No.
I'm very skeptical about this. Like,
It's going to be awful. Is there anything good? Anything that looks good here? Anything.
Well, I'm looking forward to the women's match.
Should be the main event, but it won't be. Asuka Sasha should be good.
To New Day Street Profits. It might not be good, but it could be good. So
it could be.
Wait and see. That's pretty much it. So that's not good. When less than half the card I'm looking forward to, I'm worried.
I mean, Roman, Drew, Sami, Bobby, maybe. Asuka Sasha should be good. New Day Street Profits should be good. You don't have high hopes for Sami, Bobby? You don't think Sami can pull one out?
Well, it's just look at Sami's last match. Like, you think him against Paulo Cruz, that'd be a good match, but it was more just story-based wrestling. It wasn't really an actual match, and I feel like that's what we're going to get with Bobby. I mean, if anything, he's just going to try to trick to win. I think Daniel Bryan's going to catch him, and that's going to cost him, and it's not going to be long. Look what happened tonight on Smackdown. Like, it was like 10 seconds, and he lost.
Yeah, Sami didn't last very long. We'll see, though. I don't know. Team SmackDown women versus Team Raw women, like, I don't expect that to be very good. And Team Raw men versus Team SmackDown men, it could be all right. Like, that could be the match of the night somehow, you know? I mean, there's good wrestlers in that, but there's also some bad wrestlers, and it's a Survivor Series match, and I can't really think of one that was a all-time wrestling classic.
Well, here's the problem with these matches. They can have good moments, right? But these matches usually last 40 minutes or longer. And that's the problem with these matches. There can be some great spots, but they drag like crazy. And it's like, you kind of, at the end of it, you're just like, just please end it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of dread these kind of matches, unfortunately.
Yeah, Survivor Series looks pretty terrible this year. I can't say there's much that I'm looking forward to. It does not look like a good pay-per-view. Hopefully it exceeds expectations, because my expectations are basement low. I am not expecting much from this thing.
I can't wait for TLC. TLC is usually a pretty good pay-per-view, so hopefully WWE can make up for this one. I'm already thinking ahead.
Yeah, well, hopefully TLC will be better in December. I really hope. I just want this year to end. Get to December. Skip to January. Let's go. Let's get it going here. Okay, Johnny. Survivor Series 2020 going down Sunday night. Recap the whole damn deal with us Sunday night right after Survivor Series. We will be right here for you. You know what else is here for you? Manscaped. Shave them balls, okay? You need to keep them grapefruit shaved. Whoa, I just disappeared. Johnny.
We're all red now.
Oh, man.
I just saw red, which is never a good thing.
I know. When you see red, you know, Johnny, you don't want Johnny to see red. It might be a bad day for everybody, you know? Johnny the Bull.
Mask.
Not that Johnny the Bull. Johnny North the Bull. Not Johnny the Bull. Sammy the Bull.
Stamboli.
Sammy the Bull Gravano. Different guy. Not Johnny North. Yeah, our production team is working on stuff. I see them on the over here. Over there, there's like stuff going on over there, and I'm seeing our team doing stuff, and we just turned red for a second, but I think we're all right. We're still on, John. It's all good. The hell was I talking about?
Manscaped, right?
Manscaped, thank you. Shave your balls, okay? Shave your balls. Get the Lawnmower 3.0. It is a fantastic trimmer. Johnny North uses it. He's a professional wrestler. He wears those little trunks. You think he wants ball hair sticking out? Of course he doesn't. That's why he uses the Lawnmower 3.0. And he got it at Manscaped, manscaped.com. And if you use the promo code ringside20, you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping. They have tremendous products. They've got the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. There is a lot of great stuff from Manscaped, and the holidays are right around the corner. Get something for yourself. Get something for a loved one or a friend over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code ringside20. That way the Ringside Report Network benefits and you benefit as well with some tremendous products from Manscaped. We're very happy to have the partnership with our friends over at Manscaped. They have great products that Johnny North enjoys, as do I, as do all members of the Ringside Report Network team. Manscaped.com.
Yeah, AJ was putting over like crazy the fact that I use it. I'm glad that he's so passionate about it. Like, it makes life easier for me, as you say. Like, it's just more comfortable wearing trunks and just everything else, too. Just walking around with that, it's a lot more comfortable, without question.
Correct.
That's my big endorsement.
There you go. Johnny North is a big fan of Manscaped. He was a Manscaped customer before we ever even got a sponsorship with Manscaped. So that tells you how great their products are. And now he gets it for free. So even better, Johnny. Even better. You get all the new stuff.
Well, I got to try the new one. I have the 2.0 right now. Now I have the 3.0. So yeah, it just gets better.
That's right. And I think you should be getting the new ear and nose hair trimmer pretty soon. They're supposed to be sending us the new stuff for the holidays.
Well, I don't have anything in the ear, but the nose, yeah, that's definitely welcomed, without question.
I think there's a nail grooming kit we're also going to be getting, Johnny. So get ready to groom them nails. Manscaped's got you covered.
Keep them pretty short anyways. For wrestling, you better keep them short because I know a lot of people complain if your nails are too long. So, but anything that helps definitely is welcomed. But for the
same
nose,
for jiu-jitsu.
For jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you don't want long nails in jiu-jitsu, you know? Yeah, for sure. Same deal with jiu-jitsu, you know? You got to be manscaped. You got to you don't want to smell bad when you got to top north-south on somebody. You don't want to have stinky balls in their face, you know? So you definitely got to groom yourself for jiu-jitsu, just like you got to groom yourself for wrestling. If you're any kind of combat sport, be it a real combat sport like I do or, entertainment like Johnny North, you got to manscape yourself. You got to groom yourself, keep yourself tight. I'm just kidding around with the entertainment, Johnny North, okay? I'm not saying that what I do is more real than what you do, okay? You actually take more punishment than I do, so there's that. Wrestlers are a lot tougher. It's different. Wrestlers are tougher. Jiu-jitsu guys are more able to kill you with their bare hands. My experience.
Well, also, like, it's more like, in a sense, self-defense, right? Like, you're not trying to, end somebody. Or us, we're actually pretty much trying to hurt each other, pretty much, intentionally, so.
Yeah.
It's
self-defense, I guess, but, it's really offense, you know? I mean, I do it to be better at jiu-jitsu. I don't do it to defend myself in the street because I never have to defend myself in the street. I don't do jiu-jitsu for self-defense. I do jiu-jitsu because I like jiu-jitsu and it's fun. I like rolling around and putting people in chokeholds. It's fun for me. It's good exercise. I do it for exercise. I do it because it's fun. You know, people like to play sports. Some people like to play basketball. I like to do jiu-jitsu. You know? I'm not trying to be in the NBA. I'm not trying to be, world champion. I just like it. I like the art. I like the knowledge. And it's fun. And it keeps you in good shape. Keeps you strong. I highly recommend Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to anybody who wants to try. I think it's great. All right, John. Okay. That's my commercial for Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Fantastic. Just, only do it by yourself at this point right now because everything's in lockdown still.
Or with somebody in your bubble. Somebody in your bubble.
Which is rare now, too. There's very few people you can have in your bubble now, apparently. So.
Well, my brother happens to be a great training partner and also in my bubble. He'll be sitting right next to me here on Sunday for Survivor Series, and we do jiu-jitsu with each other at least once a week. At least. So, as long as you have somebody you could roll with, keep on rolling like I am. I've been rolling so much I have injuries. I'm hurt. I'm hurting right now, Johnny. I gotta tape up my middle finger every time I roll. My middle finger's all messed up. It has been for months.
Wow.
My big toe on my left foot is all messed up. I've got jiu-jitsu injuries. That's how hard we've been going. You know, quarantine doesn't, or COVID or whatever, isolation doesn't shut us down. We're still going. We're still going hard. I'm going so hard at jiu-jitsu, even though the gyms are closed, because I've got the home gym, we got the home mats. Going so hard, I've got jiu-jitsu injuries. That's when you know you're doing it for real. That's when you know you're doing a good job and you're working yourself hard, when you've got boo-boos. Right?
It's like they say, no pain, no gain.
Exactly.
So, that's good.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you don't wake up sore the next day, you didn't do it right. Okay, and that's the same for pro wrestling, right? If you don't wake up sore the next day, did you really have a match? Okay, Johnny North, AEW. You want to get to that? You like AEW this week? I thought it was kind of bad.
I thought it was all right.
I don't know. I thought it was one of my least favorite episodes of Dynamite. I didn't think it was very good. Not much happened.
Like, I enjoy, like, Pac coming back. Like, it's been so long. I thought he looked fantastic. I don't know about you. Like, for someone
came back last week.
Yeah, no, but to wrestle, actually, like, to see him, like, in the ring wrestling again, man, it's been forever almost. Like,
yeah,
almost a year.
He wrestled the Butcher.
Amazing. Okay. And that's
the Blade.
Showed in the ratings.
Who did he wrestle? The Blade?
He wrestled the Blade. Yeah. He wrestled the Blade.
I mean,
but still, like, he looked fantastic, I thought. Like, he's in great shape still. Still moves amazing.
Yeah.
And is flawless in almost everything he does. Like, in my opinion, like, Pac deserves the big push they're pretty much giving him. Like, he's one of the best wrestlers, and I don't think a lot of people give him enough respect for that.
Thing is, I've seen him wrestle so many times for so many years, and I recognize that he's great, but I can't get up for him versus the Blade. Like,
right.
We've seen him in so many great matches in the past as Neville, My favorite Pac match, he was Neville. It was in Montreal. It was at a house show. I think he was... Or maybe Sami was NXT champion at the time. It was him against Sami, and they did everything to each other. It was one of the most incredible matches I've ever seen. It was at a house show. It was Sami Zayn versus Pac one-on-one, and it was goddamn incredible for the NXT title. It was like, woof, mind-blowingly good. So I've seen Pac in some really great matches, and I've seen so much of him over the years. Not to say that I don't like seeing him. It's just that it's just a match against the Butcher or the Blade, and it's his comeback match. I don't really expect him to lose, and I don't really care. And I don't care about, the fact that he, Pac was in a faction with the Lucha Brothers, right?
Death Triangle, yeah.
But how long did that last before COVID? Like, they started the thing... They were together as a group for maybe a week or two, and then Pac had to fuck off back to England because of the pandemic. So, how long were these guys really together for me to remember and give a shit that there was an alliance there? Pac comes back. He wrestles the Blade, who's in a group with the Lucha Brothers now and Eddie Kingston. And I guess we were supposed to care about that story and, like, where do the Lucha Brothers' allegiances lie? But, like, I didn't care at all. Didn't care. Didn't even think about it. Because I don't think of Pac with the Lucha Brothers as a group. I don't see them together. And then, of course, Pac beats the Blade, and then Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and Blade attack Pac after the match. Ray Phoenix shows up, tries to make the save for Pac. So then I'm like, oh, Ray Phoenix is, like, Pac's friend. And then Pentagon shows up, and you're like, oh, Pentagon, is he, like, with Eddie Kingston? Is he fully turning on his brother, Ray Phoenix, because they've been wrestling past couple of weeks against each other?
Right.
But then, no, Pentagon kind of decides to side with his brother and runs off Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade. So now Pac has been reunited with Phoenix and Pentagon, which, like, okay, who cares? Who cares? Because they were never really a thing to begin with. And now Eddie Kingston's group sucks. Like, Eddie Kingston's group already was, like, teetering on jabroni-hood, but now, like, Lucha Brothers are like, forget you, Eddie Kingston. All he's got now is the Bunny, the Butcher, and the Blade with him. The guy that he called his best friend, Pentagon, wants nothing to do with him. Eddie Kingston coming off the loss to Moxley. Now he loses two of his best guys in his group. I would have had Pac just join them. Make a big group. Make them powerful. Give Pac the lead in a lot of these things. But instead, now you have two small groups that I guess will feud with each other over what exactly? Like, I just don't give a shit. That was the problem with that segment. It was like, yeah, okay, Pac's back, but the rest of this shit is like, I don't know who's following this story. Who cares? Did you care?
Well, first off, I don't know what you thought about that Ray Phoenix run-in, but to me that seemed like a shoot. I don't know what was going on there, but it seemed like nobody was on the same page there. It seemed like Ray Phoenix was going in there, wasn't selling a lot, and they almost had to like shoot, get him down. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like,
Nah.
it seemed like something was weird there. Like, he kept coming back, and they had to like actually put him down. Like, it seemed weird. I don't know if someone didn't understand like what was supposed to happen with that, but something seemed off there. So I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. This seems like it's real. And like I was wondering if Penta was actually going to turn on Kingston or not, because like he threw Ray Phoenix out of the ring last week, so it's like maybe Penta is just going to be with them. That would be kind of interesting. Then we'd actually get a actual Lucha Brothers feud where it's not they're just friends, they're just wrestling for the sake of it. An actual feud that could be very interesting. We didn't get it, but I was intrigued by that.
But it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen, unfortunately. Yeah. It's too bad.
So now you have two shitty groups, right? Next. Young Bucks beat Top Flight, whoever they are. Now, last week you mistakenly told me that Top Flight were Devon's kids. They are not Devon's kids. I actually saw Devon's kids wrestle on Dark, and their names are something else. By the way. They're pretty good. Yeah, I like them. They have a bright future. Top Flight is all right, too. They lost to the Young Bucks, but the match was way too long. Like, these guys are kids, Top Flight. They're new to AEW. They're rookies and they're children. And they got way too much offense in on the world champion Young Bucks. Like, Young Bucks should have beat them way easier than they did. Top Flight got way too much action. And then TH2 attacked Top Flight after the match, and the Bucks ran them off. Supposed to care about TH2 now all of a sudden. Get the hell out of here. The hell was that? Well, too long, man. Way too long of a match. Those Top Flight guys got too much.
You saw Dark, though, right? Because it feels like you kind of have to watch Dark to understand these kind of storylines now. Because TH2 had a promo talking about how they've been mistreated and they're not going to take it anymore. And this kind of carried over into that match, right? So it feels like you have to watch Dark, which, by the way, that's a marathon to watch. Like, that was like 13 matches.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, like there were some good matches, don't get me wrong, but like I can understand why I made that mistake. I almost give myself a pass because, like, honestly, like, I remember those matches and I can't remember some matches too. Like, I think there was like 4 or 5 like women matches. Honestly, right now, even though I watched it, I can't tell you like every match that happened still. Like, I know Thunder Rosa wrestled someone named Lindsay Snow, and I think Eva Lee's wrestled, but I have no idea who it was exactly. There's just so many matches, so much going on. It's longer than Dynamite Dark at this point.
I know. Dark is super long. I don't watch it on a weekly basis. I watched some of it this week, and there was a bunch of wrestlers on it that I'd never seen before or heard of, which is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. I like seeing new talent. I like to see what they have, but I was like, God damn, AEW's got a deep roster. When did they get all this depth? They've just signed every indie person to like it's per appearance deal, right? It's like,
right.
Wow.
They need a new show because like there's just way too much, and like to have like a 2-hour pretty much straight show on YouTube, like, don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff that was on there, but it's just way too long. And like when I'm like mixing up names, like there's a problem.
Yeah. When Johnny North doesn't know who anybody is, there's a real problem. When he thinks Top Flight is Devon's kids, there's a lot of confusion in the air, and I don't even watch the show, so you can't blame me. I blame you, Johnny, for any dark confusion, AEW dark confusion, because that's your beat. I'm not watching that shit.
But you can understand where my problem comes from. Like, 9 to 15 matches a week, it's tough.
There's a limit, to how much of this stuff I can watch. I like wrestling and all, but like a lot of it is just kind of like, I don't need to watch all this wrestling. It's kind of boring. A lot of that WWE stuff was pretty bad. I watch all of AEW Dynamite, but I can't watch Dark. I mean, there was a new season of The Crown out on Netflix this week. I had to watch that. Watched every single episode of The Crown. Fantastic. New Kevin Hart comedy special on Netflix this week. Had to watch that. You think I have time to watch Bray Wyatt wrestle The Miz when Kevin Hart's got a new special out? Please. It's ridiculous. What would you rather watch? What would you rather watch? Kevin Hart tell funny jokes or Miz wrestle Bray Wyatt? If you'd rather watch Miz wrestle Bray Wyatt, like, you must really hate Kevin Hart or hate comedy or something, because, you know,
Well,
Kevin Hart's pretty entertaining, and Miz and Bray Wyatt.
Well, we talk about wrestling, so we don't talk about Kevin Hart that much whatsoever. So,
I know we talk about wrestling, John, and I'm willing to watch a lot of wrestling, but there is a limit. I will watch the wrestling that I enjoy. I will watch Chris Jericho do promos. Even though I don't love it, I will still watch it. The Inner Circle thing, that thing was...
I didn't hate it at first.
I didn't hate it, but I also did not love it. MJF and Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager and Ortiz and Santana and Chris Jericho and Wardlow are all in Vegas together. They're gambling, they're drinking, they're playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
Conan showed up at one point, and they went into a limo, and it was filled with smoke. Yeah, I guess that was kind of cool.
Talked about the dragon, all that. That was. I like that stuff.
I don't know what the hell he was talking about. And then Inner Circle was drinking with an Elvis impersonator, and they were all drunk. And MJF was saying how much he loved them all. It seems like they were bonding. And then it's like the next morning, and Jericho wakes up in bed with Elvis, and MJF wakes up in a tub. Sammy's in a fountain. MJF has like marker graffiti from Sami all over his face. Sami seems to have got married to 3 women. Santana had some chickens. Ortiz was working out for some reason. I don't know what the hell that was about. And Hornswoggle was there crying in a diaper. Like, I don't know. I didn't really laugh. I wasn't really entertained. I just thought it was like, okay, they're trying to do like a hangover type skit. They're trying to do another skit. Jericho's doing a skit. It's like, all right. I didn't think it was really good. And a lot of Dynamite kind of depended on that being a home run segment, home run bit, and it wasn't.
I don't know if that was supposed to be the home run bit, because I think what got people interested was the whole Jon Moxley announcement, right? Which he kind of just like snuck into his promo.
Who cares?
That's what got people talking, right? Like, to me, that's Twitter started blowing up after that.
Why? Because Renee's pregnant?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're like me, where it's like, okay, sure, fine.
I mean, it makes sense.
At best.
They're the right age. They're the right age. Renee's not working for WWE anymore. You haven't heard anything about Renee. Moxley has a pretty relaxed work schedule. Seems like a good time to have kids. Like, congratulations to the happy couple, but like, I don't know. He mentions it in his promo, and that's really the only thing of note that he says in the promo, and I don't really, I don't give a shit that Jon Moxley's having a kid with Renee. Like, well, okay, good for them. Like, a lot of kids are born all the time. Like, I don't feel anything, It's like, yeah, okay. Cool. I don't know Jon Moxley. I don't know Renee. I'm happy for them. Glad they're having a kid. I hope they're happy. I don't know. It's like I care about as much. I care less, actually, them having a kid than I do Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins having a kid, because at least Becky Lynch being pregnant changes my life in a way, because I don't see her on Raw wrestling anymore. And I hopefully won't see Seth wrestle on SmackDown anymore for a little bit. After he lost to Murphy this week on SmackDown, maybe that's the way to write Seth off. But, of course, he'll be at Survivor Series on Sunday, so probably not. But you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I care more about Becky being pregnant because at least Becky was on TV and now she's not. Renee is not on TV. She will remain not on TV. She will be pregnant. She will have Jon Moxley's child. I hope the child is happy and healthy and they have a beautiful life together. But other than that, whatever. Jon Moxley's having a kid. Good for him. I got a kid too. Big deal. Keep it moving.
Right. Like, to me, it's not a huge thing, but for a lot of people, that's huge. That's like the biggest thing that could happen. So, and a lot of people, they have a strong fan base. So, for a lot of people, that's the greatest thing ever.
I was more impressed with Jack Jade Cargill beating up Brandy Rhodes backstage. And then Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose backing her up for some reason. Big Swole, Red Velvet, and Serena Deeb showed up to run off the heels and talk to Brandy. Jade Cargill, baby. She's in your face, and she's got backup now with Vicky and Nyla.
I thought that was kind of a lame
weird
segment.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But Jade Cargill is like my favorite. She's so awkward and jacked. I love
after
it.
Last week, I thought that was very disappointing because last week was like, wow, what the heck is this going on? This week, it's like kind of just a lame little injury gimmick that they did. And
that was it.
Why would anyone, it made no sense to me. Like, you run in for the save and you just get in someone's face and you don't hit them or anything. You just let them walk away. Like, what kind of save was that? That was horrible. Like, Big Swole just comes in there, gets in someone's face, damage is already done. No fight back whatsoever.
Does nothing.
You're a horrible friend.
Yep. I mean, it wasn't very good, but it was fun. I just like to see Jade Cargill. Okay. So Moxley cuts his promo about, he's a good guy and he's going to sign the contract and shake Kenny's hand, and they have a match for the world title, Moxley and Omega, on December 2nd on Dynamite. Kenny Omega and Tony Schiavone in the ring for the contract signing. Jon Moxley is unconscious backstage, and Kenny isn't buying it. He's like, oh, last time it was his elbow. This time it's a bloody nose or whatever. Make sure you show up on December 2nd, John. Like, Kenny is not only not taking responsibility for the attack of Jon Moxley, he's also saying that Jon Moxley isn't really hurt, doesn't believe it, and thinks he's faking an injury. And, of course, last time they had a scheduled match on pay-per-view, Moxley had an elbow injury. He had it was like staph or something in his elbow, right? He had some sort of weird thing going on. And he had to miss the match. And now Kenny's like, make sure you show up this time, John. I like the way Kenny sold it, and I'm interested to find out who really did attack Moxley. Was it Kenny? Was it... Now here's my theory. You know who I think it was, John?
Who?
A man who was not on Dynamite this week. I think it was Hangman.
Huh, that's interesting. I didn't think that way. All right.
Trying to get back in the good graces of the Elite. Have we seen Hangman since Full Gear when he was in the ramp?
Don't think so.
I think it was Hangman. I really do. I don't think it was Kenny. I think it was Hangman. I think Hangman's going to help Kenny win the title, and it's going to get awkward because Kenny won't want Hangman's help to win the title, But Hangman will do it because he wants to, to regain the friendship of Kenny. Adds another wrinkle to the story. I think Hangman will be the one revealed as attacking Moxley. That's a good one, right?
That's good. I didn't think that way whatsoever, but that's still very good. I actually thought it'd be Lance Archer because I made mention about that promo that he cut, and it's like, why isn't he getting title shot? So okay. I feel like this is him pretty much stepping up, saying that it should be him, not Kenny. I wonder if this match is going to happen now as they plan. It's probably going to happen, but will they add Archer into the match as well? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't want to. You got to do one-on-one Kenny Moxley. That's what I want to see. But yeah, Archer being the one, maybe. But where's Hangman been? Hangman, conspicuous by his absence. It's a little suspicious. He's drinking. He's just drunk. Drunk in a ditch somewhere. You know what I really liked on Dynamite? I think my favorite moment of Dynamite? Not the Orange Cassidy-Kip Sabian match, because who in their right mind thinks Orange Cassidy versus Kip Sabian one-on-one is a good idea for a nationally broadcast TV show? I mean, that's just crazy. Don't make me go off on Kip Sabian again. Like, that match was terrible. Like, it wasn't that bad, but just the idea of that match is terrible. Like, who wants to watch 225-pound guys wrestle on TV? Flip around and wrestle like baby style. Who wants to watch two guys barely hit each other? 205-pound men barely touch each other on TV. Who wants to watch that shit? Like, I can't. There is a limit.
I feel you're giving them way too much props on the whole 205 thing. Like, I don't feel like they are that. I feel
No, I
they're
said
smaller than
105.
that,
105
but,
pounds.
105.
They're
Oh,
tiny.
yeah.
They weigh nothing. I
Yeah.
weigh more than them.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, definitely.
And I see them
But-
both, and I think, I could take these guys. They don't look intimidating. It's ridiculous. They're so not intimidating. They're so not pro wrestlers.
Right.
And it's okay when they're in there against somebody that is a pro wrestler because at least the look of it isn't so amateur. But Orange versus Kip, I was like, jeez. Any wrestling fan above 40 is looking at this shit going, this is pro wrestling in 2020? Are you kidding me? It's just bad. It looks bad. They're too skinny and tiny to be in a one-on-one match against each other. That's not dubbed a cruiserweight match or something, It's just, And their style doesn't help. Like, if it's Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrera, sure, yeah, it's going to be, but the match wasn't anything that exciting, so I don't get it. What makes Kip Sabian special as a professional wrestler? What differentiates him from the pack? It's not size.
Well,
It's not athleticism. It's not psychology. It's not promos. Like, is it Penelope? Is it that he has Penelope in his corner? If that's it, okay, I'll give it to him. But can't we just watch her? Why do we have to see him?
Well, when AEW started, you could tell a lot of people were just brought in because certain people, like the EVPs, just saw that, oh, these guys were good wrestlers. I had good matches with them. I'm going to bring them in, have a good match with them, and they're going to be part of our roster. And Kip Sabian was one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good match with Cody Rhodes. They did that match again on TV. That pretty much got him his spot.
Yeah. Yep, he's just there to fill out the roster. Now, what I did like after that match, Orange beating Kip Sabian by pinfall, Miro was on commentary. Of course, Miro, formerly Rusev. He shows up and he clotheslines the head off of Orange Cassidy. Like, clothesline from hell from Miro on Orange. I love that. Miro looks like a goddamn wrestler. I liked seeing him hit Orange that hard. Wasn't that fun?
It's weird with Miro. Like, he looks like $1 million, but like, he doesn't act like he's a star. The way he talks and all that, like,
Yeah.
But I get it. He's trying to be more real, but it kind of ruins that whole like he's a brute kind of thing. So it kind of hurts him in a sense. Like, I get it. That's how he is, and that's cool that you're like that. But as like an intimidating person, it's hard to take him seriously sometimes.
He should have not been on commentary because the commentary didn't do him any favors. But
Right.
when he came out and clotheslined Orange, like, that was money. That was a championship level guy being a star in that moment. More physicality from Miro, less talking, I say. Far less talking. That's always been, the deal with that guy. The more he talks, the less like a monster he looks. Like, he's entertaining, he's funny, but I think especially in this role with AEW, he should talk a little bit less, especially not go on commentary and try to be like another version of Kip Sabian, Kip's buddy. I think being with Kip hurts him too, because, like, Kip. I mean, his name's Kip, so there's that. And he's Kip. He sucks.
Well, a lot of it's roles. Like, if he was with like Jake or even like Taz, I think it'd be a lot better for him, where they has just like a mouthpiece and then he just goes out and destroys people. I think that worked better for him than it has for Brian Cage or even Lance Archer.
How about Willie Hobbs? Your main man, Willie Hobbs, now with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks beat Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. Cage getting the pinfall on Darby in the main event of Dynamite. And I'm like, how is this the main event of Dynamite?
Well, Cody's
Starks,
there.
yeah, okay. But he's teaming with Darby Allin to face Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. Like, I was like, this is the main event? when the match came on TV, I was like, what time is it? I was like, God damn, the show's over. This is it? This is what I waited 2 hours to see? This is the main event? And the big surprise was Cage getting the win on Darby, then Starks and Cage beating up Cody and Darby after the match. Will Hobbs comes down with a chair, and it looks like he's going to save Cody and Darby because that's what he's been doing. But instead, he hits Cody with the chair and joins Team Taz. By God. And I'm just like, okay. Can't wait for the Will Hobbs-Cody Rhodes match, I guess. Didn't Cody say he wanted a rematch with MJF? Whatever happened to that? Instead, we got to see him wrestle Ricky Starks and Willie Hobbs and Brian Cage and all this nonsense.
Well, isn't he supposed to wrestle Shaq? Like,
oh, yeah, what about that?
That was happening. Yeah.
Shaq, MJF, like, he's talked about all these other guys. Seems like he can't get away from Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, and now Willie Hobbs. Willie Hobbs.
Well, to me, this is very much like the whole Jericho-Tyson thing. Like, they wanted Jericho-Tyson, right? But they couldn't get it, so they had to settle for Jericho-Cassidy. And I'm guessing they can't get, if they can't get Cody and Shaq, we're probably going to get Cody and either Will Hobbs or, like, Brian Cage or something like that.
Buh. Great. John Silver got promo time this week. That's always good to see Silver get some promo. And he was just doing the promo for Anna Jay's title match next week with Hikaru Shida. Anna talked a little bit, but it was mostly John Silver just cutting a promo for Anna Jay's big title match. John Silver has become the de facto leader of the Dark Order. Whatever happened to Brody Lee? Is he hurt?
Well, I heard somewhere, like, apparently, yeah, he got hurt in that match
Cody
with
match, yeah.
Cody. I wouldn't be surprised. Remember when he went for, like, I think a super kick and he slipped? I wouldn't be surprised that maybe he pulled something there. And plus, it was just a brutal match, period. Like, they really beat the hell out of each other in that match. That was a very good match.
It's an ankle injury, according to Dave Meltzer saying it's an ankle injury for Brody Lee. So hopefully he does come back at some point, but I'm not hating all this John Silver Dark Order stuff. And I wouldn't be mad if Anna Jay became the new AEW Women's Champion taking on Hikaru Shida on Dynamite. Like, Shida, as champion, she's good, but is she a star?
I feel like she is. I mean, there's not many people that got featured in that AEW game that's going to be coming out, right? And she was given, like, a lot of feature time. Like, she actually got moves on Kenny in the game. Like, I think they prop her up as, like, one of the top stars in the company.
But is she? Like, I know that they want her to be. I know they position her as one, but is she?
It's hard to say because we don't have fans, right? I think if you're a hardcore AEW fan, I think you love her. I think if you're just a regular wrestling fan, you're like, yeah, she's okay.
What would you consider me? A hardcore AEW fan or a regular wrestling fan?
That's tough because I feel at times you are and then at times you're not. So it really depends if AEW is good. If it's good, then yeah, you're definitely AEW all the way. Like the pay-per-view, for example. Like,
yeah.
AEW all the way on that one. This week,
honest.
Nope.
Well, I'm honest, I call it the way I see it. If it's good, I will tell you that it is good. If I don't think it's particularly good, I will tell you. And I believe that Hikaru Shida is a very good wrestler. But she never speaks. I don't think she speaks English. Look-wise, like, she doesn't stick out. Her gear is very basic. She looks normal. She's not particularly big or muscular, or you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing where you look at her and you say, God damn, that's a star. She doesn't pop.
Okay. All right, yeah.
In the ring, she's really good, but as far as charisma and look and all, like, she's a good hand, but everything else is missing. And, like, when you're trying to build a division and you want to build stars and you want champions, you want a centerpiece, sometimes it's not necessarily the best technician that gets it done. You need a star. I think Britt Baker is probably that star. I don't know if Anna Jay is that star. I think Britt Baker, she looks the part and promo and gimmick and everything. She's really got the character down. In the ring, I don't think she's as good as Shida, but I think to take the division to the next level, they focus too much on these wrestlers who, I guess Nyla Rose is more gimmick than in-ring, but the gimmick wasn't really that developed. It still isn't, but it really wasn't when she was champion. And now, they had Shida, they had Riho, two champions, very similar. I mean, Japanese, good in the ring, never speak, don't really know what their gimmick is, And these generic Japanese women's wrestlers, albeit very talented in the ring, there's just nothing else to latch onto. There's no reason to care. And I think that hurts them. And, I see Anna Jay, and it's like, yeah, star. You saw Anna Jay, the first time you saw Anna Jay in AEW, everybody was like, holy shit, who is that? And they immediately signed her. And they put her in the Dark Order, and they gave her a big old push ski. Why? Because she's a star. You could tell. She can talk. She's got attitude. She's good on being the elite. She's got a look. There's a lot going for Anna Jay. Is she the champion, the next champion? Probably not. But she wouldn't be the worst person to put the title on. I wouldn't be mad at it. I like seeing Anna Jay.
There's potential there, but again, I think this is her second year in wrestling. She's very new to wrestling, so
yeah,
she's good for what she started out with, if you remember how she started, there's vast improvements, but it's going to take time.
Sure,
it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, but when we talk about best women wrestling, in my opinion, I can't think of a better match in AEW for the women's division. In that match we saw this week, Serena against Thunder Rosa. That match, I know you weren't big on that match, but to me, wow, was that good? To me, that's the best AEW has in terms of the women.
But that's their NWA women's title on the line there. And, it's weird. The NWA women's title has become, the secondary title that's more important than the main title, just like the TNT title. It's the secondary title that's more important than the world title. At least it has been for several months. And I feel like the NWA women's title, highly featured, more important, better matches, more stars. I think Serena Deeb, although, no, I wouldn't say that because her promo was we've heard her speak, but holy shit, it was bad. She can't talk at all. But
the wrestling.
She's featured a lot more than Shida is. I feel like I see her on TV more often. And she's not even the AEW champion, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Thunder Rosa featured more than Shida. She had something on Dark and then an angle, a lot with Thunder Rosa. It's crazy. And to not be under contract, it's insane.
And Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa have that match. Reba, at one point, distracts the ref to allow Britt Baker to attack Thunder Rosa during the match. It didn't lead to the finish at all, which was weird. I didn't like that, John. When there's interference, it's supposed to lead to the finish, not just lead to nothing, and the match continues. And then Rosa and Britt Baker brawled after the match. So even Britt Baker, who I think most would consider the biggest star in the women's division, the most over character in the women's division, she's not even feuding with the AEW women's champion. She's feuding with the challenger for the NWA women's title. Why? Why?
Well, now we're getting into the politics probably of NWA here, it looks like. Because if you look at most of AEW matches, they don't have those kind of finishes where they need an out for outside interference. And it wasn't even the end to it. So I'm feeling that they needed to protect Thunder Rosa, or Billy Corgan wants Thunder Rosa protected because that's pretty much one of his top stars that he has there. So he has something like that happen. But he still wants a competitive match back and forth. He still wants Thunder Rosa to keep going. To me, it made Thunder Rosa look amazing, where it's yeah, you can still interfere, but I can still fight back from this and almost win, too, in the end. So I feel like that's just them booking her strong and also having her go over strong at the end as well, getting the over back on Britt, who looked absolutely stupid coming back at ringside and just being
Yeah.
there for Thunder Rosa to rip her down.
Yeah.
It was funny. It made Thunder Rosa look great and Britt look like garbage.
Should they really be using Britt in that way?
Well, she's a heel, right? So I'm okay with that, actually.
I think Anna Jay, if not Britt Baker, then Anna Jay is going to be the next big star in this division. I mean, Stu Grayson's scared to death of her. If you watch Being the Elite, you know what I'm talking about. Which
I
you don't watch.
No,
that's okay.
There's only so much AEW I can watch, man. I'm sorry.
There you go. You watch Dark. I watch Being the Elite. I actually enjoy it because there's a lot of John Silver on it, and everybody knows Silvermania is running wild. I hope Silver helps Anna Jay win the AEW Women's title. Jericho and Hager will team up to face SCU on Dynamite Wednesday night. And Pac and Rey Fenix team on to take on Butcher and The Blade. Should be some good tag team matches. Don't often get to see Jericho wrestle on Dynamite. That'll be fun. Against SCU should be good. And then Pac and Rey Fenix together in a team against Butcher and The Blade. That's all right. That's good stuff. Not bad.
Well, you have the women's title match, Sheeta against Anna Jay, right? So
Yep.
But it's not a huge Dynamite, so that's why I don't feel there will be a title change. Because like for the December 2nd show, I think it's Kenny against Moxley. That's like they pipe that as like a winner is coming, like special event kind of thing. That you feel like a title change could happen there. So if the women's title match was there, I could see Anna Jay winning. But on this, it just feels like it's another show. Sheeta's not going to lose on just a random show.
I think you're right. And that episode of Dynamite is coming up. We have one more episode of Dynamite before the big Kenny and Moxley match. Dynamite Wednesday will be the 25th of November, and then the following Wednesday will be the 2nd of December, which is Kenny Omega challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. That is a big, big episode, and I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we're only 2 weeks away from December. My God, this year's gone fast and slow all at the same time, right? Strange year. Strange times.
Well, we spend most of the year like this, right? So it's crazy where this has become the standard, where this was just the backup at one point, and now it's the norm.
Yeah. Remember when we used to sit in the same room and talk about wrestling and watch wrestling shows together? Remember that? Remember sitting in the same room?
I remember the last day of doing that. That was
When
fun.
was that?
It was back, I want to say, the first week of March or just the end of February. Something like that.
Yeah.
We were debating if WrestleMania was going to happen at all.
Yeah, the good old days. And now we know it's going to happen. We just, we don't know how. We don't know what's going to happen.
Well, WrestleMania is not going to happen at Tropicana Field. It's just going to be Raw and SmackDown, right? Is that the whole thing?
Raw and SmackDown are moving to Tropicana Field in Tampa, where the Rays play. And I believe that they're going to try and get some fans there. I believe that they're going to try and get some fans in that building because it's a big building, and I know that in the States, you're allowed to fit some people in the building. I don't know what exactly the capacity percentage is, but I do believe, not for Raw or SmackDown necessarily, but I've heard a lot about the Royal Rumble at the end of January that the WWE is going to try to work fans in, and if they're doing it, not in a big arena, but an even bigger, like a baseball stadium. I mean, they tend to do the Rumble in baseball stadiums, and if they're moving permanently to a baseball stadium for the next few months, I could see them trying to fit some real human beings into that baseball stadium. I mean, football games have had people, not full capacity, but still fans, NFL games. I know baseball playoffs towards the end, there were some fans there in attendance, so why not professional wrestling? AEW's doing it. I think the WWE will have fans at the Royal Rumble. How many fans? We'll see. We don't know, but lockdown, who knows? Biden gets inaugurated on the 20th, unless AJ gets his way, in which case I'll owe AJ some money. But when is Royal Rumble 2021? Like, he's not going to do a lockdown as soon as he gets inaugurated. Vince might have some time to slip it in and do Rumble in front of fans. January 26th. So Biden will get in as president on a Wednesday. Oh, that doesn't make sense. How is it January 26th? Oh, no, that's 2020. Well, they don't have the date announced for 2021. But I would guess that the Rumble would be on January 24th. Sunday, January 24th. Probably, maybe the 31st, but I would bet that the Rumble is going to be on January 24th. Royal Rumble 2021. Have they announced a date? Yeah, 24th. It is official. 2021. So I think they'll have fans. Biden won't do a full lockdown in 4 days. He's not going to get inaugurated and then shut down the states. They're going to be able to have fans, I think, on the 24th. Maybe not for Mania, but I think for the Rumble, it's going to happen. All right? That's my guess.
I definitely agree with that prediction. Like, it seems like something like that would happen. Like, it would just seem very weird if you didn't have fans at the Rumble. Like, it seems like that kind of event, like, that's kind of a big deal. Like, it was crazy we had WrestleMania like that. Like, it didn't feel like WrestleMania because we didn't have fans, right? So
yeah. I hope they do have fans at the Rumble. I hope things go well. I hope things are well enough that we can consider traveling to WrestleMania in April 2021. All right? I hope that's where we are in a few months' time. I think we'll be close. I think we're getting there. I think we're almost out of the woods. Another year and we'll be good. We've almost done a year. I think we're halfway through this pandemic. That's what it looks like as far as the vaccines and everybody getting them. Seems like for guys like us, we're not going to get that vaccine for another, year-ish. Everybody else, people on the front lines, older people, doctors, nurses, stuff like that, they'll get them earlier in the year. The rollout will start happening. Things will start settling down, and WrestleMania 2021 might be still a little bit weird, but WrestleMania 2022 will be back to normal, and everything will be good. We'll be back going to wrestling shows. The world will be normal, and everything will be fine again. That's my hope for the future, and that's what it's starting to look like. I think we've turned a corner. So one day, you and I, Johnny, will be reunited.
I don't disagree with that. It's just I question if we'll see wrestling here in Montreal, like WWE. Like, I question them touring that much. Like, again, like I don't know about that. I think we still might be many years off from seeing that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know about that.
I could see it. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised to see.
You don't think they're going to tour? I think they're going to start touring as soon as they can.
Maybe in the States. I don't know about here, though. I think that might be another good year or two off.
I think it'll be safer for them to tour here than it is in the States.
I just wonder, like, they would allow that? Like, they'd be able to cross the border? People be okay with it? Like, we're not even having the Raptors. The Raptors have to play in the States. Like, you're going to have, like, wrestlers come over? I wonder about, like...
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. Who knows? I'm seeing different news. Man, ESPN reporting that Tony Ferguson's going to fight Charles Oliveira on December 12th, UFC 256. Damn! It's a hell of a fight right there. And Donald Trump Jr. has COVID. You see that?
Surprising? I didn't see that, but should that be a surprise? Like, his dad had it, right? So
yeah.
But I thought the big one's in January, is it not? Isn't the Conor fight like official now? Like,
yeah, Conor's gonna fight January 23rd against Dustin Poirier, UFC 257. It's money.
Like, that's the big. That's the huge one.
Yeah, that's how you start the year off with a bang. Conor McGregor in January. Fought this January. Let's try it again. I think it'll be a similar result than the last fight, too. All right. We talk MMA every Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA. This is the Pro Wrestling Show. We go live every Friday night at about 10:15 right after WWE Friday Night Smackdown. We will also be live after Survivor Series this coming Sunday night. Check us out right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, click the bell so you get notifications every time that we are on. You could find us over at ringsidereport.net. That's our online home. All the videos, all the links available at ringsidereport.net. Thank you very much for everybody watching us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Give a shout-out to AJ, to Lauren Cronish, to Bob Burgers, to Franco316, Bob Cote, Mako8033, Jason, Derek John, of course. So many people seeing you guys active on the chat. Todd, Lil Shrek. So many people. So many people watching us tonight, and we appreciate you all big time for watching the program. And don't forget, right after Survivor Series Sunday night, we will be back. Follow Johnny on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You can follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. That's it. That's all. Johnny, final words?
It's going to be tough, Survivor Series. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'll try to survive for the fans at least.
That's right. We will survive Survivor Series, and we will talk about it when it is over. We'll see you then after Survivor Series. Bye.